Boys and girls, it's Lan and Cthulhu here. Welcome back to another day of the Let's Play Live Challenger League here, and we have a very short stream today. We have a very short show for you. Just one matchup between Paradox and CryptiK. Cthulhu, how are we feeling about this today?
Feeling quite excited, really, because Team CryptiK and Paradox have been doing quite some amusing performance as recently. Paradox,
Hmm.
mainly as well as that team has been more or less been circulating around the kind of LPL Challenger League, and that is about their only showcase, really. Whereas CryptiK has been a pro league team and on a few occasions have been showing a little bit of a lackluster performance. So I'm quite curious to see how will today's matchup evolve, really.
Yes, absolutely. So we all know Cryptic, and for those that aren't familiar with the name, they were also known as Zealous recently, and that's all news. Just in case, just in case you don't remember or you haven't caught up yet, maybe you've been away for a while. Who knows? But Paradox as well have come out, and like you said, they've had some pretty interesting and amusing plays come around and Cryptic as well. I feel like Cryptic's been a little inconsistent, a little bit in sort of their communication and maybe in some of the plays. Not sure if all the players are on board or on the same page with a lot of the communication that might be going through on their end. Of course, we don't know that Cthulhu, but we did see them lose 2-0 last week to Sleeper Gaming, man.
Yeah. And what is interesting to me is that when Paradox were versing Sleepy Gaming, Paradox won 2-0.
Yeah. Oof.
And so right now, whoever actually wins the both of the maps tonight will actually progress onto the top of the leaderboard, which is kind of exciting and interesting to me. Um, Actually, to take a look at the leaderboard, I'm actually quite curious to hear your thoughts on the current standings, Lan.
Yeah, so we got the leaderboard here right now, and currently we do see that Sleeper Gaming is above Cryptic and Paradox. So even though they did lose to Paradox, those were two of the only four games they've lost so far in their Challenger League here. Paradox right now with 5-3, completely even with Team Cryptic here on our leaderboard. Although, by the way, guys, there has been an issue. Some of these teams actually have a little bit more points if they won 2-0. So Sleeper Gaming actually have 7 points on them, 7 wins, because if you win 2-0 in our best of two, you gain 3 points and not two, unlike the other pro leagues setting that you might be used to. This is more of a true best of two. And if you get 1 point, you get one win and one loss in a single days matchup, you just get 1 point, one win and one loss. But if you get 2 wins, you actually get 3 points. So while the points are slightly varied, the standings should be the same nonetheless. We do, of course, see at the top of the leaderboard PC419 and Rhythm sitting at 7-3, tied up for first place. So a very dominant performance from both of these teams so far. Of course, Rhythm, a pro league team that we did see compete at the Six Masters recently.
Yeah, well, they haven't really made it to Pro League just yet, but yeah, they were able to showcase quite some fantastic gameplay all in all. So they definitely not yet to be outed from this competition by any means.
Yeah, absolutely. So the game should be starting underway soon, but looking at the leaderboard just now, we do see that at the moment our bottom and unfortunately poorest performing teams would be Justice and Downfall. So we have a couple of games that haven't been played yet and have will be played off stream due to time restrictions and some rescheduling for some of these players. But next week we'll have the full update for everybody to see, and it should be pretty interesting to see where they stand and how they're gonna play out, because we still have quite some time left for us in our little Challenger League Cthulhu. But tonight with Cryptic and Paradox, I'm pretty excited to see how it turns out, because like you said, Paradox won against Sleeper, and Cryptic have been kind of on the rocks recently. So not sure if that's because of their coach just recently coming in and the team's not acclimated to the new roles that they've been given, but they're definitely still quite strong.
Oh yeah, they still a force to be reckoned with, and just a few hiccups like here and there wouldn't really affect that much on their performance. But Let's talk about the maps though that we will have. So for map number 1, we are going to have Consulate with CryptiK defending, and then Clubhouse will be the second map with Paradox to defend.
Yeah, so I mean, Consulate's a map that we've seen, I think, a couple of times so far in the LPL Challenge League, and we're going to the map just now, and even though the ban phase has just started, it's a map that we've seen many times before and we're quite familiar with, and we've seen this played over the weekend as well. If anyone was watching DreamHack, we saw giants fall on this map, namely G2, unfortunately. So far, I think it's a map where, yes, it's defender-sided on some sides, and it's very biased in some of those situations, but it's really going to come down to which team can create, not just creatively, but sort of in good timing, take some of these sides on attack.
Yeah, well, looking so far at the ban side, the secondary attacker ban is just coming in freshly, so that's a Thermite and Capitao to be banned out. Probably the biggest so far interesting ban will be the Thermite ban, just due to the fact that he's only on like a few rare occasions is the one getting banned. And to have Maestro to be banned out, that's more or less of a rather meta at this point thing, and the remaining one I'd imagine will be somewhere across the lines of either Mira or Echo here.
Yeah, I mean, Thermite getting banned out is pretty meta. I mean, it's Consulate. He's the strongest over down by the garage. That's no surprise. Not so necessary up in the console meeting rooms, but definitely very heavy in utility for most of the other sides coming through, especially if you're going to be playing in lobby. Opening up that bathroom could be detrimental for your team as well. So, I mean, looking at the other bans, pretty standard. Capital is pretty interesting, but not surprising at all. Has some of the highest ban and pick rates in any league, really. But these team rosters are pretty interesting, pretty set in. I'd be surprised if Striking actually took in that Rook and didn't actually swap off it. Does look like it's actually just going to be JCC switching onto the dock. Okay, I guess they want those ACOGs.
Yeah, that will be the need for the ACOGs, plus the fact that Rook has the impact grenades. It's also going to help create some of the rotation holes. So overall, the setup for defense looks like they're planning to have a few aggressive long angles, and then from the remaining 3 operators would be used for either the roaming or just keep locking down the sites. Whereas on the side of the attack, we see more or less of a stock standard, really, combination. You have 2 soft breaches. You have this time a Jackal, since he managed to slip past the ban phase. IQ to get rid of the Valkyrie cameras, and then the Hibana to do some remote breaching, which is actually, I want to touch up on that. Usually we would see on map like Consulate, we would see Hibana to be banned out, so that way you don't give the attacking team the comfort of the remote breaching, and you'll have to force either Thermite or Maverick to get up close and personal with those reinforced walls. And so I'm quite interested to see, probably to hear after a post-match, if we'll get to talk to some of the players, what will be the reason to get rid of Thermite, rather.
Yeah, that's a fair call there. And now that we see that JCC got taken out quite early, getting punished for what he did, yeah? It is it's not the biggest loss, but they do lose that ACOG that they swapped and sacrificed a lot of utility for, and that's gonna just really put them back a little bit. Now they really have to defend it. Oh no, Serum getting taken out already, and there goes the RIGL, and now that the RIGL is gonna be sitting in the backseat, maybe backseat gaming a little bit more, they could be a little bit more comfortable. But I'm surprised that there isn't much defense upstairs in the admin office as well. Jam and Striking are still on site, and they might have to actually rotate their. They might actually have to rotate. Where is Sushi? Oh, he's by yellow. Okay.
Yeah.
Located by attackers.
There we go. So they are going to be trying to rotate back, and it does look like it's going to be an easy take all the way up to the break room. I'm not too sure if there's much of a fight going to be put up here by CryptiK. They did lose 2 of their very important operators here. Your ACOG, your C4, and a very fast defender. So,
Well, they still have...
Oh, no.
I was about to say, they still had the another ACOG, but it seems that it's all up to Jam to try to clutch this up. So, unfortunately, even after being able to down one of the players from Paradox, he just unable to net himself a single kill. So that's a flawless round just like that, and the Paradox already flexing it.
Barely a flawless round. Jackal got down, but they didn't collect it. Deptra coming in quite clutch to save that one and make his team look a little bit better than they should. Although, so far, looking quite confident, but I'm not sure if it's CryptiK dumping that round or if it's Paradox really reading into those plays.
It could be a little bit of both, really. They going in for a repeating run out is certainly not what you will want right now, especially as a team of a caliber that is CryptiK. So maybe it was a miscommunication, maybe it was just to get that initial kind of aggression set up, because with the way how maybe some of the mentality works for the first round, is you set up the pace for the match, essentially showing, hey, we're going to be extra aggressive, we're going to play for a whole lot of runouts, and if you can't really counter that, well, you're going to pay for it. So essentially this was both of the teams kind of measuring how does one another play, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking towards it, and I just hope that CryptiK don't make the same mistake that they did last round and get too aggressive too early. A lot of line of sight being made here by the long desk as well. So could be seeing that meeting get turned into a kill box as usual. A lot of oh no, Serum again? Okay, no, he's just putting a camera outside. That's a little bit better. Yeah, they're going to push up from the console here, and it does look like Steffi's going to be able to just rotate and make it a little bit safe for himself. Oda being going to be looking over to find any cameras. Hasn't actually spotted the black guy, spots it now. Should be able to take it out. Doesn't want to use the pistol, but maybe catching it, Serum, reading into that, just, oh, barely destroying it. Not at all. Almost did, but barely missing that one. Serum getting copping a lot of damage, and JCZ is going to heal him back up to about 95 health.
I'm a little bit confused as to why did Serum decide to go for the run out, even though his webcam was getting shut out, because it's just, well, you have IQ already staring right at that, like close by to that angle where you're going to be running up. Why give out that position? But okay, it seems that even going for the standard pick from that window seems to have net him a quick kill. So that is minus IQ. So I suppose that was the revenge of the Sith at that point.
The revenge of the Sith and the rise of the Jedi. So sicko mode. Gonna get him to work on that solo wall over by the Visa stairs here. While Vladdy Daddy rotates down, gets some of the cameras and probably rotates up the spiral staircase that we saw him rotate up last round. It does look like, oh, JCZ spots one from a little bullet hole, takes a little bit of damage, stands up a little bit too soon, and Steffi actually gets taken out by Serum. There we go. Deptra almost dropping as well. Vladdy Daddy actually taking out Serum, and it does look like CryptiK actually have the man advantage here.
Indeed they do, as losing the Valk to and trading them out for a buck and a IQ is certainly a good effort, but right now it's not over yet for Paradox. They still have 3 very strong operators, albeit that Deptra is quite low. So all in all, they still have a chance in this fight, but they need to make that move very soon, and those drones would definitely help as well.
Yeah, so a lot of smoke coming out here will cut off some line of sight, make it easy for Sticko Mode to drop in, push right into that meeting room and get that plant down right by the door. So Striking's actually going to push through, pick up 2 kills, but get traded out by Deptra. JCZ actually cleans that one up, and it's CryptiK win round 2.
Yeah, that was a much more confident play from CryptiK this time, considering even the fact that Valk still decided to go for a very aggressive peek, but at the end, it kind of paid off. It kind of managed to stall off some of the pushes, and the remaining 2 ACOG players were actually able to stay around and hold their sights, really. So, overall,
a sound round, I think.
Yeah, a sound round, definitely a very well prepared this time, and this time we also saw a few very nice pixel angles that
I think it was JCZ doing that one. Now that we're moving down the cafeteria, it's going to be a little bit different. they're probably going to be playing a little bit more roam heavy, or they might just play an entire turtle strat on the bottom floor. It's most likely they're going to have someone come in for a late flank on anyone in piano, just to make sure that they don't gain control over that garage door, or they may just completely surrender it. But if they give up control for the piano, post-plant is going to be an absolute nightmare for CryptiK. So we're hoping that they actually come through and actually provide a whole building level of control. A couple of reinforcements going down on those hatches as well will ensure that no one gets too eager on that. But it does look like they are actually reinforcing by the bathroom as well. So we might be seeing a defense come around there. I'm not sure what the decision making behind that single wall is.
The thing is though, okay, so you mentioned the spread out throughout the whole map. For CryptiK right now, this wouldn't really make a whole bunch of sense, just due to the fact that, one, this would mean that only potentially a single person would be on site, or having a single person roamer, which for them versing against Paradox, that is not the best case scenario, because so far Paradox were able to play in pairs, and this is essentially double effort that needs to be made by that single roamer. So it would make much more sense for them to reinforce up, to hunker down around the ground floor and the bottom floor. And then from there on, you make the move. You keep holding, like you mentioned before, the piano room. And that is exactly what could do the work. And it seems that currently they did manage to actually bring in 2 defenders to the top floor, ignoring the ground floor for the time being and potentially just having the coal mines there.
Yeah, well, CryptiK already losing members and bodies left, right, and center. They're really doing a good job on taking out this roam game coming in here. JCC picks up a nice kill into Deptra with a C4, and they're good. I mean, that's a little bit of utility use, but it's went towards a good cause. Losing your Zofia early is not ideal. It's not the end of the story though, right? So a couple of drones here won't be able to pick that one up. Has to rotate down the yellow stairs, and most likely will either get collapsed on or has to fall back to site. I hope he goes back to site, because it looks like Vladdy Daddy might actually pick up a couple of footprints, although he may be a little far. He's quite exposed there though. I'm not sure if he really wants to be in that position at this point. Oh no, here we go.
Well, the pings are potential to come out, as well as he did hear the footsteps from the Valk, so potentially he might be able to net that kill. There's the peak as well, and the ACOGs does definitely help. It is actually Steffi who helps the Jackal around, so all in all, 3v4.
Yeah.
Watchable for both teams really well.
Makes it
much more in favor of Paradox at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, they really shut down that roam game, and now that they're collapsing in, and they're doing it quite systematically, it may and may not come down to exactly holding the right angle now, and maybe even picking up a couple of more kills to make this a little bit more comfortable for CryptiK. So Habana X Kairos on the wall itself. One more coming down. Sushi will get droned down. They know exactly where he is. They're most likely going to push him quite soon. The SMG-11 will make it through the railing, and it does look like, oh no, Sushi's aiming a little low. Picks up the kill, actually quite close. Almost misses it, but the shotgun around the corner might be able to come in quite clutch. Steffi going down here. Sushi is going to be holding it quite tightly on those yellow stairs, and now onto pipes. Sticko mode pushes in, and he got it down. He got it down earlier. That was nice. There we go. So Sticko mode coming with the Gamble 9 and picking up the kill. Paradox.
Very nice shot from Sticko.
Yeah.
You have to admit that last tap onto Bandit, that pretty much sealed the deal for Paradox and pushed them once again into the lead. But I do have to admit that this was a little bit of a sloppy one. They droned out the smoke. They kind of knew his position, but they didn't put any flashbangs towards the push. They didn't put any frag grenades towards the push, and that essentially nearly cost them the round, really.
Yeah, they didn't use everything at their disposal, and it's a bit of a oversight for a lot of players in a lot of situations, and hopefully they learn from this over time, but nonetheless, fantastic gameplay and gunplay coming out from Sticko mode there, going pretty deep on that one as well. Made it a little dangerous for them though, I have to admit, right? So
pissed out.
A couple of pests coming out here from striking, trying to deny as much info as possible. No mute to complement it though, so not worried too much about the info game. There are a lot of angles those drones can come in and actually pick up a lot of data.
for this very play, bringing in the Mozzie is probably a much better choice, just due to the fact that you can block out actively a few drones and actually utilize them against the enemy. So
Yeah.
if you do have the Mozzie continuously alive, then using him rather than Mute is a much better choice. And I like this kind of adjustment from CryptiK as well.
Yeah, I want to talk about the preset C4 over in Visa. Might pick up Deptra if they have the right call and if they time it right. But if they're joining up Visa right now, they're gonna hear that C4 beeping all day long. So most likely,
well, right now,
yeah, it probably won't. Probably won't pay off this time around. Probably a failed investment. Vladdy Daddy most likely saw that. Also sees the Jaeger on the Visa garage stairs. So.
Issue is here that Vladdy Daddy, I don't think he has the angle onto that C4, so he needs to take the actual control of the Visa for that C4. But since Derptra already made it through, really that was a pretty much a done location. So Serum going down is certainly not what you would want right now.
Yeah, it does look like they just kind of wasted it. I'm not sure if Vladdy actually took care of that C4 quite well. We didn't get to see, but like you said, didn't really pay off. So
yeah, and with the fact that Jaeger is still around the corner, Vladdy Daddy could potentially catch him off guard, but I don't think he's knowledgeable about the Roma's position as of yet. There's the shot from 416, sorry, as Jam will need to fall back, and that would be a good idea, but with the fact that he left his footsteps there would make his life quite hard, I have to admit.
Well, they've got a nice angle all the way into cafeteria, and they've got good control over the second floor now. 4 members are downstairs in the basement and in the garage. A couple of breaching charges to open up a lot of line of sight here to play fishing. Fishing for a couple of kills here. Maybe a couple of drop grenades might come through as well. We're unsure at this point in time, but all I do know is that the ex-Kairos will come in unimpeded, open up a lot of line of sight, and it does look like Sushi will be taken up by Deptra quite swiftly. Headshot as well to boot. It looks like Steffi's gonna have a field day going through top down on those piano stairs. JCZ already holding the cafeteria, waiting long angles here, and Jam actually quite close on the spiral stairs. I'm not sure if he's gonna get the jump on anyone pushing through, but definitely a couple of pre-fires. Ooh, striking gets it down. Doesn't realize it, and does look like maybe Deptra, Vladdy Daddy, will be able to pick himself up. And oh, JCZ denying the plant already, prone now by the white van, and might be able to pick up this extra kill here. No, Deptra coming in with a double to try to deny that. Maybe bring this head of reality for his team. A triple now, going in quite hard. Jam denies Vladdy Daddy, and he has to rotate all the way to white stairs, to white van. He's the only one left, 1 to 2 right now. He's gonna take the numbers, try to gamble with it, and try to push this fight here. No, he will lose it. Deptra coming in with a quadra kill to clutch the round.
Fantastic play by Derptra, getting that quad kill, like you said, certainly does push the Paradox team even further on score-wise, and I do have to admit, unfortunately for CryptiK, that was not the case. Really, the round was full-on forfeited at the end, and some of the plays had a good idea, but ultimately fell to either the fact that the Paradox were just able to read into some of those plays, or just the sheer fact that maybe it was a miscalculation. For example, losing that Valkyrie, what I believe was on rotation, definitely did not help. As well as that, the pre-play C4, it would have been a good idea if the Visa was a Visa office and the lobby would have been held on a much different basis. For example, having a much closer setup of Jaeger, maybe have one more person just in general sitting in the lobby area or being prone, just ready to have that crossfire going for anyone who would attempt to take control of the lounge. And that would be essentially what was needed, really. You have admin people in the Visa lounge, and that way you deny one of the main entrances into the second floor of Consulate.
Yeah, I feel like the communication there just lacked a little bit. If, like you said, if they held it a little bit tighter, definitely would have been a much better play for CryptiK as well, even though they invested in that so much. We didn't get to see. I'm not sure if it was a late rotate coming in from the Visa to admin stairs. Not sure if that was a late rotate or not. Couple of shots coming through the connector window already. It does look like Striking's taking way more damage than he should, and you don't want to. Oh no, not like this. Striking, come on.
C4 would miss at this point
by a mile. Vladdy takes a bit of damage though, so it's a trade right now. Not the best, but it could go either way. Oh, nope, there we go. Jam cleans that up. Sicko mode takes out Jam in return, and Striking rotates all the way back. So it's a trade so far, and it's a Jackal for Jaeger. I take that trade any day.
Yeah, that was a pretty decent trade, albeit that losing one of your roaming fraggers is certainly not what you would want right now. But Serum right now might be at a little bit of a potential danger, because those walls that he's hiding behind are quite bangable. His position did get spotted, so he needs to stop moving around. Whoa. With 2 people already up at the windows, it's going to be a task and a half, especially without the C4 to try to defend the position.
Yeah, he's going to get cut, but he's not exactly in the best position. He's going to get pinned down. Steffi picks up Striking as well downstairs. Probably an easy kill. He was quite low. And there goes your pulse, and there goes a lot of your info gathering ability and utility for your team. So they're still trying to take over this admin office, and while they only have a minute and 30 seconds left, that's still quite a lot of time. Serum's going to get droned out, and they know exactly where he is. They've got a couple of angles on him, and they may put more utility to try and, there we go, concuss him and maybe try to push and flush him out. But I'm not sure what else they're putting in order to try and make this a reality. But two players holding the same angle from the same window, I don't know if that's the best choice right now.
Serum is currently performing his task perfectly. He's wasting a bunch of time right now. With Paradox being unable to flush him out, really, this is working all well, because the remainder of the defenders are just sitting around the side and essentially just waiting for that push to happen. Serum's position right now is full-on expendable, so with him being unable to really rotate, his whole idea is to just keep holding it.
Oh no, okay, he picks up the 1 kill onto Zofia. He has to rotate over, and he may be able to pick up the second. Yes, he will. I cannot believe Serum got away with that. They completely took that on the overside. He gets a triple kill. No way, Serum comes in this big for his team, and oh my gosh, okay, Odoving comes in, picks up the smoke, and that's a very valuable player on the defending side. But now that he knows exactly where, no, JCZ cleans that up. Odoving goes down, and he complete oversight, has his back completely open. And wow, that was a very clutch game. A very clutch play coming in from Serum. Insane.
Yeah, Serum's play was pretty much the reason why CryptiK won that round. And even if he would have went down when Zofia started repelling in, there would have been a whole bunch less time for the attackers to go for that plan, and they would not have had enough time to coordinate the push. So essentially, with Doc and Smoke being alive, that would have been still, at this point, CryptiK's round for the taking. And yeah, massive props to Serum getting that triple kill where he technically shouldn't have, really. Pretty much just summarizes up the man's skill.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
I
attackers.
mean, look at the way Serum plays. He plays either... No, he plays one way. Balls deep. The man has no... He has no 2 modes. You know, the guy has 1 mode. He just goes in and he sticks to it. We're looking at the scoreboard right now, and it does look like, oh no, Striking misses the drone. Sticko Mo's making a run for it, and oh, there we go, he finally gets the drone. Has to go back and pick up the pest before it's too late, and I mean, just adds 1 more to the drone army. So the Australian operator already come in quite good, and a lot of intel gathering coming in for CryptiK so far. Not sure if they're going to be able to expand on that and really capitalize on it, but we do see that Sushi as well is playing that mute this time, so instead of the smoke, they're going to be denying a lot more intel for their team. And I'm not sure if he wants to put the jammer right there, because anyone on that balcony will be able to deny that and actually take it out quite quickly. I'd imagine you put that over by the staircase, so you can actually deny that intersection for any drones to come up from the Visa stairs.
Well, maybe that would be the plan for the defending player, but I'm curious to see how will Paradox now approach, because this is once again a 2-floor setup for CryptiK, and I'm curious to see as to how will Paradox approach it, just due to the fact how intricate it is.
Do you see how carefree these guys are? They're just walking in. No one's actually holding.
They have live drones. They have live drones going up ahead, so all the amount of information is being relayed pretty quickly to them.
I mean, aside from the live drones, no one's holding the yellow door. They've got a lot of investment over by Visa though, if they realized that A was completely vacant, they might just go in and take it over. I'm not sure what the second floor situation looks like right now. Sushi is upstairs trying to hold like what looks to be meeting. And JCZ over here in the... Oh no, I didn't realize where he was. Okay. Interesting position there, JCZ. Interesting position.
The drone also actually skipped him as well, so his ACOG is going to be pretty much a massive surprise right now for the whole team of Paradox. And already, there we go. There's the Zephyr that decided to walk in, and striking now with Sushi will need to also defend the downstairs. Sorry, the upstairs.
Ooh, Steffi picking up a nice little kill here. Oh, and will be taken out in return. Refragged by striking. And there goes the Mozzie here. Doing quite a good job. Playing from the top down with a C4. You'd imagine he'd be downstairs actually over by the garage trying to deny anything here. Maybe with a late rotate that might be possible. But we do see Odoving here by the yellow stairs. Has to rotate through. JCZ no longer a threat. Will be able to push through that spiral area a little bit more carefree. So 3-3 right now. It does look like it's going to be... Oh no, what timing! Serum coming in quite clutch, cleaning that one up on the Odoving, and there goes your IQ, there goes your soft breach, and there also goes your intel gathering on those electronics. So Jam is going to be holding all the way into that. Oh, that is dirty. He picks up 2, and there we go. Defenders win round 6. CryptiK coming in hot.
Coming in hot will be, even at this point, a slight understatement, really. That play from the whole team really was very well coordinated. And the way how they had things set up, they managed to split the attention. It was quite evident that Paradox initially wanted to just send it straight onto the site, like you mentioned before. They knew that the site was clear. Nobody in the closest vicinity was not holding it, but one, they didn't realize that there was a dog holding a very long angle at the bushes. And 2, they didn't really account for the fact that there's going to be a heavy presence, well, somewhat a heavy presence in the console's office on the top floor. So the moment they realized that they're not allowed essentially to just send it, tried to split their whole attention, didn't really work out firefights wise, and from there on it's just kind of snowballed down the drain.
All right. So
attackers have located a bomb.
Interesting setup here, coming in with a drop down from the bathroom. Dude, what do you think they're trying to make happen here? Because they're leaving one side of that wall soft. They might be using that area as a point of defense for yellow, possibly, and then using that drop to maybe evacuate if anything goes wrong.
10 seconds to go.
Well, that is essentially what they potentially might be looking into getting themselves going. They have a rotation point in the bathroom, so they will have a potentially an anchor with them watching down from the bathroom, and in case things do get hot, he either rotates into the piano room or rotates downwards. And having that setup that currently Paradox does have is certainly something that could improve, but at the same time could work out pretty well. Unfortunately for Serum, though, he will be disconnecting, so we might be seeing a rehost at some point. But it certainly doesn't look like the first contact is being made, so it will be kicking off with a 4v5. And I do also have to make a point as well. M1014 on the side of Castle. The semi-auto shotty instead of the UMP that we so used to see, and quite curious to see what type of damage can be done with that shotgun.
It really depends on his positioning, yeah? It really depends how he's going to position himself. JCZ already picking up a nice kill for his team, and there we go. IQ coming in quite big so far. They are taking quite swift control over... Oh, he's got a very interesting position here. If he fires through that wall, he will be able to take out one. Yes, there we go. Sicko mode, opening up that wall, taking out JCZ with the shotgun, like we said. Making a big play here for Paradox so far. So a very interesting position coming up from Castle. That is a very lethal shotgun. I mean, we don't really see it, but shotguns are making quite a big comeback in the Pro League, in the Challenger League in general, Cthulhu. We've seen that more and more often as well. So Castle coming with the shotgun is no surprise. Sushi as well, Picking up a nice kill.
Attackers
Stickle
dropped the
mode,
diffuser.
refragging for his teammate, and Jab getting taken out here as well. The rehost won't come through, it's taken too long, but we might see him reconnect afterwards. The camera gets taken out, C4 gets lobbed up, will be missed, and oh, Sushi actually rotates back with perfect timing. Vladdy that is to make it round the rotation in time with the shotgun, and does look like Steffi is all alone on that defense. Doesn't look like it's gonna be too hard, but might be able to pick this one out. Drone finds him. They might be able to rotate this and actually pinch him and make this a reality on a 4v5 situation. Will CryptiK be able to pull this off and coordinate this last attack?
Well, at the moment, this could go definitely both ways, considering the fact that Buck is very low on health, same as Hibana on 75, whereas Belk is full on healthy. So a few very well-connected shots could very much seal the deal. There's the C4 to come out. Won't be actually downing Hibana, so the plant will still be going down, and the angle from above should be able to seal things up. There it is. Striking to collect the kill onto Steffi, and the CryptiK are back into the lead.
A very confident play coming out from CryptiK and very well coordinated. A very different team we're seeing here compared to last week versus Sleeper Gaming. So the rehost request is coming out here, and does look like we will be going to a short intermission. It does look like we may have to see what happens coming into this next round. However, I just want to say that CryptiK are looking very confident right now. The lineup and the matching, the scores are very even between these teams. But Cthulhu, very impressed so far.
So far, the thing how I feel went for Paradox when they were winning the rounds is essentially CryptiK were doing some very questionable decisions. They went for some of the odd plays, and Paradox were able to catch them off it. Whereas whenever you see CryptiK win, it's a very decisive win. You can see that kind of difference in some of the firefight skills.
Right.
And CryptiK have certainly the communication working out pretty well for them, just due to the fact that you saw even when it was a 2v1, they didn't rush, they didn't go for any aggressive plays, they just played it safe, had Hibana go for the plan, the healthier operator in case the C4 does come out, which it did. And then the slightly less healthy Buck was holding just a safe angle from above. So all in all, it was a very well coordinated play out, really, from CryptiK, especially on the last round. And previous two rounds that they did manage to win were also pretty similar, coming off either of a very good clutch play from one of their players or just great coordination overall.
Yeah, like the coordination was fantastic. A very well experienced team coming in through and actually showing that they know how to pace themselves, how to use what they have available to them, and they won that 4v5. Like, let's not forget. And that was from the start of the round. It wasn't just halfway where one member picked up a kill and then dropped out by accident. They started off that way, and they ended off with a one-man advantage, clutching it at 2-1 with a plant also getting baited and then actually succeeding. Well, it didn't actually go down, but it would have succeeded if they waited for it. So very well played by CryptiK so far, and it does look like the rehost should be coming in quite quickly. So let's just talk about what Paradox need to do in order to change this around. Cthulhu, I feel like Paradox they're not doing anything necessarily wrong. They have a lot of the right boxes ticked, but they're not really executing as well and coordinating as well as CryptiK, because I think CryptiK are just reading into what Paradox are doing. They're seeing that it's quite predictable, and they're just playing over it.
Yeah, well, some of the things that Paradox have been doing really is they were trying to occasionally force some of the rosters, operator rosters, to go for multiple same sites. So that was happening on the offense. So we just only saw a singular defense play from Paradox here. So I can't really judge up on that. But it certainly was either some of the Paradox within their solo firefights making some of the unneeded decisions. So say that engagement between what I think was the Hibana and a castle, so played by Vladdy Daddy as well. He managed to deal some damage, decided to bail out on the exit stairs, but then decided to rotate back up to try to re-engage. Instead of that, you've done the damage, you spooked the Hibana, you let her know that there's still a castle available and still ready to blast her face off with a shotgun, fall back to the lower part of the exit stairs, hold the tight angle from there. You have the perfect position, and the only way you would get flushed out is that if the second person would try to push from the spiral stairs, for which you already have the Valkyrie that could have held the angle. So some plays like this is pretty much what hurt Paradox on their first defense round. It could potentially continue hurting them if they would keep up at this type of trend. Well, unfortunately, they are not a pro league team. They're not CryptiK, so they can't really afford themselves to go overly aggressive here.
It is coming down to experience and understanding what they are able to do and how they can actually step up. Paradox are holding their own though. The matchup and the scores are quite close to each other, and they still have a lot of room to prove that they can still win this map here on Consulate. And then moving into the next map, where they will be starting on defense instead over on Clubhouse. There's still a lot of room, right? And these are teams that are still developing as well. So, like I'm trying to say, gonna give them the benefit of the doubt so far. Quite good coming in, and CryptiK have, they are a pro league team and they have been struggling against some of these Challenger League teams. Don't sleep on Challenger League teams, you know? I mean, you look at a lot of the Challenger League teams over in EU, able to take on some of the best teams in the world. BDS, hello? But enough of that. We're getting back into the game right now, and it does look like we're coming in quite close to a pretty interesting climax here, Cthulhu.
Certainly does look like it. We will be seeing a lobby and press room to come out. 3-4 is the scoreline so far, and I just want to put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
If CryptiK will win this round, I'm gonna call it and say that this will be CryptiK's map, just due to the fact that, look at it from this point of view, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
4 rounds in a row so far.
Yep.
Sorry, pardon. Make it 3. Yeah, 3 rounds in a row.
Yep.
Sorry. So 2 on offense. 2 on defense, 1 on offense.
Okay.
So far. And if they manage to bring up 4 rounds in a row, this is certainly looking like it will be going in their favor, because so far Paradox were unable to get any traction for themselves going. They were unable to solidify any proper holds, and even when they did, it was forfeited within the finger snap, really.
Defenders,
talking about finger snapping, it does look like CryptiK are trying to come in quite hard on this one, man. They're bringing in that Lion. They're not going to be wasting any time. I'm expecting to see some pretty clutch plays coming through here, and a lot of aggressive plays at that. So, an interesting reinforcement here. Sicko mode going to be reinforcing that hatch. Not sure why. They are playing upstairs instead. Most likely playing downstairs in server, maybe trying to C4 anyone pushing through the visa. But I feel like if you actually start reinforcing, that's going to telegraph exactly where you are. So I don't think that's what you want to do, but we'll see how it plays out.
We'll see indeed, as the setup from Paradox potentially could be bringing us to a few long-range engagements, as well as the hold in the admin office, which could potentially work out pretty well, but that is dependent on 2 factors. One is how aggressive CryptiK want to be really on their push, and whether they will be attempting to go for a push in through the visa and potentially up the stairs, because if that will be the case, they will most definitely need to put some manpower towards taking control of the admin office here.
I'll see it.
IQ doing her job, making sure she ticks all the boxes and makes sure that no one's being a little bit too sneaky. Unfortunately, not on the side for the visa. Won't be able to see that Valkyrie is playing in cameras over there, waiting for the right person to just vault through. Serum instead will be actually deciding to rotate up into admin because it is a free take right now. No one's defending it. I don't know why. Hello.
Attackers have located a
And it
bomb.
does look like CryptiK already have control over admin and most likely the copy
Bomb
room as well.
located by attackers.
Sticko is still downstairs by the archives corridor and the actual archives itself. Not doing too much actually, but maybe coming in with a late flank, maybe late rotate, might be exactly what they need for Paradox to clutch this round.
Certainly looks like it is. It is 3 people up and around the site around here, and CryptiK are just about to set up their push. The wall has been reinforced, but it will be popped by the Hibana charges. And 2 players from Paradox still pretty far away, and with Pulse being that far off, it's definitely not what you will want right now. You need to get rid of all of those defenders on a very swift basis, and that C4 from below from Pulse could be working absolute wonders.
Yeah, it could be. It does look like JCZ is already holding a very interesting angle over to Spirals, denying any entry coming from there. They won't see him coming at all. Serum as well, most likely pushing into that meeting room to try to get this plant down. He doesn't have the diffuser on him, Sushi does, but it does look like striking, picking up a kill onto Bloody Day will make that all the more easier. So Pulse already being taken off. There goes a lot of your vertical play. Sicko mode is the only one going to be able to do anything about that, and it does look like Steffi is already taking a little bit more damage over by the console as well. So Oda Being is going to be healed up, most likely from the backside here, while he tries to hold this angle here with the SMG-11. Not exactly the best of choices at the moment. And as the E1D gets popped, Deptra picks up a nice kill, and a couple of more actually start playing vertical below Oda Being. Takes a little bit more damage from the shotgun. The skeleton keys coming in quite clutch here. It does look like he has to prone, throw a couple of canisters up, but won't be able to pop any of those toxic babes anytime soon. Deptra is already trying to hold an angle from the private bathroom, and while he has a very long angle, 3 rooms down, the plant will be started. Does look like Deptra gets a double, most likely the triple as well, and maybe even the quadra kill. But he'll need an ace to stop this from happening. Maybe deny a little bit more time. There we go, the quad kill, and maybe the penta. I'm not too sure. But with 3 seconds left on the clock, it doesn't look like it's gonna be possible at all. The plant will not be stuck. Paradox win just by time.
That was CryptiK's round completely for the taking. They had a 4v2. 2-man advantage. They had the planner, and the flank watch was really just sleeping. That rotating buck, again, please pre-aim at least some of the angles, but
you don't have to
rushing through.
I mean, like in the last few seconds of the round, don't sprint. You know, I know they're far away. I know they're far away, but
he was potentially thinking that maybe Jaeger already rotated closer to the line, maybe something across those. Sorry, not line.
The Hibana.
Hibana.
Yeah.
And maybe that was the case here, but unfortunately, things didn't really work out, and we're back to 4-4. And just like I said, since Paradox did manage to win this round, this won't be a definite decision, a definite prediction that CryptiK could be winning. So it's all cards are on the table. We still could be definitely winning on the side of Paradox.
So going for a 2-4 defense here, and it's almost necessary for a site like lobby and piano. Press room, as we also call it. And there's a couple of castle barricades coming over console as well, so that's pretty interesting. They're actually investing a lot upstairs. I just hope they've got the right vertical play in order available to them in order to make this like a real reality, because that's a lot of utility going upstairs in that meeting room.
Yeah. Well,
time will tell if this actually pays off or not. Striking already upstairs above the skylight for the yellow stairs. Serum's going to be pushing through, most likely their admin does read into this, and you know what, we need to contest that, because if we don't actually contest the second floor, we won't be able to plant on that first floor at all. So JC will not get the hip fire, and that getting a little lazy there, JC, but he will eventually get that camera. So pushing through as well, notices a couple of more over here, and while Striking tries to get his drone through, does notice one behind the table and might just pop off as they take out his drone as well. X-Kairos go down, and while it does try to, it will most likely actually be jammed. Awkwardly enough, be jammed. Vladdy Daddy removes the jammer. Obviously doesn't need to put it down there, and she denies a couple of any X-Kairos coming through on that corner by the long desk as well. So good play coming from them so far, and with a soft breach coming through with Jam here. Interesting enough, he did the left side of the wall using the right side for a little bit more cover. Rotates down the piece of stairs, and Striking picks up a nice grenade kill onto Odoving. Called him the master chef, cooked it, and picked it up quite cleanly indeed. So, while Vladdy Daddy, I'm not sure if he's actually in the garage or if he's actually in the circle desk, but should be able to contest it from the bottom up. Deptra picking up a little bit more damage, pushing on anyone inside by the spiral. Does get picked up on that EE1D. And there we go, Deptra picking up a kill into Sushi, while Sticko trying to waiting for anyone coming up through the spiral stairs.
Yeah, well, with Serum's current position, things are not looking all well right now, and he needs to keep up his EE1Ds for as long as possible. He does manage to catch Derptra on rotation, so that's a good start, but as it stands, 2 players of Paradox are playing from below, and that C4 could be lethal if the planet will be going down, so teammates should already be able to start pinging out if there are any Valcams available, but as it stands right now, it is Serum on the flank watch. With the minimal amount of health, things might be looking a little bit too hairy here.
Well, they realize that there is someone downstairs, and Steffi picks up a kill onto JCZ. I'm not too sure if this is a little preemptive. Takes a little bit of damage from that C4, but does not get down. Camera is get taken out there, and oh my gosh, Valkyrie trying to contest that. What? Who took him out? That was the
5-7 from Castle.
Oh my gosh, that range on that shotgun is insane. Paradox.
That was the 5-7.
Insane.
The pistol.
Oh, the pistol. Okay, right, the pistol. Sorry, but coming in quite clutch. Paradox cleaned that up, and they saved that round. CryptiK, I think they should have cleared the bottom floor a little bit earlier, but they were stalled upstairs for the longest time, and it was quite smart by Paradox to actually play all 3 floors at the right time and rotate at the right time. So a very smart play coming in from Paradox, and we're seeing a lot of these interesting new strategies coming that we don't usually see on Consulate. We are used to seeing the more vanilla strategies coming out from a lot of the pro teams, one of the more safer strategies, but these new different sort of fresher takes on the map with a little bit of creativity is proving to be quite valuable.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah. Well, for Paradox though, they are back into the lead. They are back up and running, and so far, like you said, their previous defense was definitely a breath of fresh air. The way how they managed to deny plentiful amount of space and time was definitely something to be noteworthy about. And I'm quite curious to see how will they approach the downstairs defense, just because it is
10 seconds remaining.
crucial for you to still be able to have that vertical play from above, especially from that piano room that you mentioned before as well, Ian.
Yeah.
And having that continuous presence from above, especially from Paradox, so far has been pretty well and pretty consistent. So I'm curious to see whether this will be a continuous trend over here, and whether we'll be seeing Paradox potentially going towards the match point as well.
Oh no, it's not match point. It's close to match point, but it's not match point just yet. Does look like striking is gonna be joining out the main stairs here, and then as they actually push through quite confidently upstairs through the break room, copy room, it does look like Deptra is still waiting for the right moment to pounce on anyone, but he will get droned out and most likely have to rotate out of there, forcing him out of his position and taking over the third floor. Second floor quite swiftly. A couple of drones get taken out, and oh no, the frag comes up from Sushi as well, holding the long angle, most likely a random wall bang, but that drone most likely fed into that and actually equated into that kill as well. Jam's already taken over yellow stairs, and he rotated all the way from admin, so a swift take from him so far. Most likely going to be rotating over and controlling the spiral stairs and the circular lobby. JCZ over in the admin will be able to control the eastern side of the map, and Habana already dodging a C4 and opening up the bathroom wall. Should be able to clean things up. Odoving cleaning up striking from CryptiK already, and 4 members playing downstairs will be able to deny the piano and lobby take and stall for as long as they can. So 1 minute left, and I'm not too sure how CryptiK's going to be able to pull this off right now, because the X-Kairos are not coming in, man.
Yeah, well, they are being mute jammed at the moment, and really it's up to there's a fear player at here, Jam, to get rid of him. There it is. So does manage to actually get rid of him. So yes, they don't have a bug for any of that flexible soft destruction, but still Zephyrs, concussive grenades, and the impact charges should be doing enough work here. It is dependent on how well can they take the exit stairs, because sticker mode will be an absolute pain in the side of CryptiK's offense. So depending on how well can they play the take, this will be depending on whether they will be granted a potential draw or whether Paradox will be going on to the match point.
Yeah, well, Stekko is holding that angle quite tightly. Might be able to pick up the shotgun and kill here. Not too sure if he heard him prone under all that sound, but no, he will miss that shot. Won't be able to clean it up though. Finally grabs it, and there we go. Stekko mode with the SMG-11 cleans up Jam as well. Sushi cleaning up a double kill for himself, and maybe a triple over by the cafeteria. Vladdy Daddy having to play for the right time. The plant goes down. Will he be able to clean this up? No. The Scorpion proves to be a little bit too tricky for him, and JCZ finishes off the round quite cleanly for his team.
I really like how CryptiK executed this. So the way how they've played it, they had the I believe that was the Lion actually pushing the exit stairs. So his E1D was about to get extinguished. They used that to leverage and force the defenders to stay in one place, while the Lion was the main focus for the whole defense to pretty much go down. The rest of them pushed in and just funneled in through that breach hole. So they used essentially Lion as a bait. And then from there, essentially collapsing onto the side, being able to grab those frags and going in for the kill. Yeah, at the end, it was a little bit sloppy. Vladdy Daddy, if he did ended up clicking on the head of the flank watch, would have actually been able to get the clutch. But ultimately, it was a very well executed take, I have to admit.
Quite solid. Vladdy Daddy now on that pulse. I'm not sure if that's exactly what they wanted. Well, it didn't work out the first time, but maybe they won't play so far down. Stekko already on those hatches. I still think he's telegraphing it a little bit too much. Don't you think? Just a little bit.
Well, could be.
Well, maybe that's what they want. Maybe they just want to be like, hey, you know what? I'm downstairs. Come find me. Waste your time on the basement floor. Don't go up onto that second floor just yet and actually take the objective. Find me, let me waste your time. That might be exactly their plan. Telegraphing this a little bit. Bit of a 200 IQ play, maybe.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Well, this could very much be the case, but we'll never know 100% on this one.
We'll need an interview. We'll need an interview.
Yeah. all that we know, it is a draw currently 5 apiece. And so far, already Sledge taking a hefty amount of damage from what is either a pre-fire or potentially even some team damage. Definitely not how you want to start things off, especially for a player that is Serum. But it seems that it doesn't phase them really. Striking is the one to catch off Steffi, and that is the dock off the board to start things off.
Jam notices a couple of a little bit of sound coming through that cafeteria wall. Cafeteria door. Live joining coming out, and they get the okay to rappel on in. Clearing up the bottom. JCZ already coming in quite handy with the IQ, and he's doing quite a good job as IQ. His support role so far has been pretty solid. He's been doing a great job with that, actually filling his role quite well. It does look like they will be trying to open this up, take out some of the ADSs while they can, and open up a little bit more of an entry for them over into the meeting room. Not much defense going around there, except Odo being with the SMG-11. That's not going to actually equate to much. They don't have any ACOGs upstairs. I'm pretty surprised. Deptra dropped super low. They don't have a dock on them anymore. I mean, Steffi got taken out. There goes the only ACOG, and it does look like a one-time scope. Oh, he just dodged that. Gets concussed. Odoving's not exactly in the best position. He could deny a little bit more entry and a little bit more time with the Toxic Babe, but he has to rotate backwards, try to pick up Deptra, and ooh, this might, Stekko mode. Trying to hold back on that. Might have to actually prone through that window. A couple of shots that tag him. Stekko mode. Cleaning up, striking, and there we go. There goes your buck, but it's still in a pretty disadvantageous position right now. Odoving barely dodges that shotgun, but JCZ picks up a clean double kill for himself. Deptra and Oda will be cleaned up one after the other. Jeffka in a very dire position right now. He picks up Serum, and it's a 1-3 position. It's still pretty hard for him to clean up, and he might actually lose this one out, but it does look like maybe there is a shining chance at redemption here for Paradox. Rotates through the long desk. He's covered by all 3 angles, and oh, there we go. Jam cleans up round 11 for CryptiK.
So now CryptiK do manage to claim the match point for themselves. A very good overall performance. Did manage to hold it out pretty well, all things considered, and potentially they are only 1 round away from making it their map, whereas on the side of Paradox, they need only 1 round to push it into overtime to have another chance at getting a shot at taking this map for themselves. Considering the fact that they did manage to beat the team that was able to take the better of CryptiK, aka Sleepy Gaming, in theory, this should have been their map for the taking, really, at least in my opinion.
Should have been. They had it all, but yeah. Okay, so
Attackers need to locate and defuse
match
bomb.
point. Do you think Paradox will take this overtime?
I definitely think this is a potential for this.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's certainly out there. It certainly could happen. But on the other side, I do also think that if CryptiK do manage to coordinate their push very well without missing out any of their rotations, this will most definitely very much fall down to them as well. So it's still, I'd say it's somewhere around 60 to 40 still now in favor of CryptiK, really, just barely just due to the fact that they are on match point.
Yeah, it's pretty tight, to be honest. It is anyone's game at this point. We could see it very well go to match 2 and overtime. And we don't see overtime anymore. Outside this league, of course. It is quite unique to us here at LPL. And we are seeing Serum actually already by the yellow stairs, waiting for the right time to swing that hammer. So the Scottish SAS member, he's just waiting for the right moment. Waiting for his team quite patiently, and that's very different for Serum because we normally see Serum going quite hard on that defense. He actually pushes in quite aggressively as that IGL, and it's quite refreshing. So he takes more risks than we do normally expect him to. But already on the yellow, looking into the bathroom here, striking, already picking up a kill. The Depture upstairs in console, starting to look like a pretty clear take for CryptiK so far.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Sushi takes out an unsuspecting Steffi T. And Paradox are already cleaning up quite well. There goes your Valkyrie, there goes your Jaeger. 2 frag potential operator being cleared out quite quickly. Odoving might be able to deny another 45 seconds for that team rappelling in, but I'm not too sure if he will be able to actually make it a real reality. Oh, a nice kill under Sushi. Does mean they lose their Habana. Striking gets taken down as well from the shotgun from Sticko mode upstairs. And it does look like maybe Paradox still have a chance.
They certainly do. It is a 3v3 situation, and with gas grenades being able to deny plentiful amount of time, and now for Serum, the logical decision would be to either drone up ahead or see if he can go for a rotation, because that smoke would be able to deny a whole bunch of area. So, as it stands, Vladdy Daddy is in a bit of a peculiar position to hold up from below. And he could be pinned down pretty quickly, and that single grenade could end his life. But as it stands, really, 1 minute is also quite plentiful amount of time for CryptiK to attempt yet another push.
Yeah, they still have a lot available to them, and they have some utility and a lot of resources available. So the drone here will be coming quite clutch, along with Serum's frag grenade, and through the circular desk, clean up a kill. But Sticko mode will be able to clean it up with the 5.7 USG. There we go. Sledge with the plant already successful. Downstairs over by Piano. 1 to 2. Sticko mode will have to play this with the shotgun and maybe play with an interesting angle on maybe 2 members. 1 already rotated over to the yellow. I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to make this happen, because now that he's shooting through the floor, he's telegraphing exactly where he is. He has to reload his entire magazine. He doesn't have that much time left available to him. And Serum has a very deadly angle on this diffuser.
Yeah, with him needing to contest the angles with minimal amount of health and just a
Look at
pistol
this
at this
guy.
point for range,
Oh!
things are not looking all well. Nice shot though from Jam. And just like that, it is a good half. GG for the first map, as CryptiK will be the ones to take it 7-5.
Very close
That's
matchup.
good.
Yeah, very good, very good job by CryptiK. Very close matchup from Paradox. Unfortunately, CryptiK were just a little bit more organized and in the moments that didn't matter and did make a big difference for them. We do see that JCZ actually coming in quite big for his team actually. And we're looking at a scoreboard. He doesn't have the most frags, but he does have a very measurable amount of points in, comparable with Sushi and striking. So everyone from CryptiK so far doing exactly what they need to and in order to contribute to the greater good. Cthulhu, any last thoughts on that map? I mean, we do know that CryptiK did quite well and Paradox were very close, and that the only difference is that CryptiK was just a little bit more coordinated.
Yeah,
But-
they were much more composed here, but what I do think about the overall performance is Paradox here. The few times that the 5 rounds that them did manage to win were off the back of them getting extra creative and catching the offense or their opposing team off guard, really. And whenever CryptiK were able to read in on the similar strat that Paradox were pulling out, it was pretty much their round from the get-go. So for Paradox, really, they need to continue playing as least predictable as possible, because that is exactly what would net them the rounds here. And on the side of CryptiK, really, they just need to keep on pushing for their pacing. They need to keep playing their own game, and that will be a swift map number 2, really.
It could be a very swift map. It was quite close, and we did see that Paradox excelled when they pulled in strategies that weren't expected at all, and that these strategies were very fresh. And hopefully we see that carry on into the next map over on Clubhouse. So we will be seeing the team swap over. CryptiK will be on attack this time starting off, and Paradox will be on the defense. Will CryptiK be able to net in 3 points for themselves to pull them back up to the upper half of that ladder, or will Paradox take out 1 round for themselves as well to keep that match up and that lineup quite even? So we will go to a short break. Me and Cthulhu are gonna rest our vocal cords and maybe sip on some tea while waiting for the matchup to come to a conclusion. We will be right back, folks. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. See you soon. And we're back, boys and girls. So, quite quick, throw back into the game. It does look like we will be getting into the band's clubhouse. Paradox first on defense this time around. Cthulhu, what did you think of Paradox's defenses last round? And do you think that they should gain a lead here on that defense for Clubhouse? Because I feel like the attack and defense on Clubhouse is pretty 50-50. People understand the attack quite well. And, I mean, like, the defense still has an advantage, obviously. It's just the nature of the game. But at the same time, these bans coming through do mean that it's quite 50-50 right now.
Well, the way how I see it, really, the way how Paradox played it out, they went extra experimental, they went extra unpredictable, but they kept on, the moment they had the successful defenses, they were trying the very same play, the very same strat. So they need to just keep up the unpredictability if they do want to keep on claiming the rounds, because otherwise things might not be all looking well. And looking at the ban phase so far, it doesn't look, and nothing really looks out of norm, really, at least to me here.
Alright, well, Maestro and Mirror getting banned out is pretty standard. We won't see the Bailiff come in anytime soon, but it's a pretty big advantage for them over in Cash and CCTV. Considering that Maestro is normally played up there and actually has a pretty strong advantageous point with those Maestro Evil Eyes in some pretty advantageous spots to gain a lot of intel and also to deny a lot of entry. We do see that Steffi will be on that Legion, most likely playing over by blue tunnels, or by the blue short and long staircase into oil pit and garage storage. But Pulse coming in for Vladdy Daddy, we saw that come through in Consulate. It was okay. Vladdy Daddy, if you watch this later, you alright. I mean, could be a little better, but Habana is a big pick here for anyone in Clubhouse, really, especially if you're playing against the Church and Arsenal defense downstairs.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, well, the downstairs hold is definitely a good, solid, safe choice by Paradox. They potentially going for a little bit of a turtle strat out here, really, and looking at their overall setup, well, Pulse from downstairs, that's a C4. Valk as well, that's just some more info gathering at this point, and really what Paradox are banking on here is have that, the holy trinity of info gathering for them going, really, is Legion, Pulse, and Valkyrie. So with Legion, they'll be able to get some passive damage going, as well as information gathering, and then the Pulse with Valkyrie to get going.
So going downstairs already into the Church and Arsenal, we do normally see the teams go to the top floor first, and they actually choose out Cash and CCTV or the gym, master bedroom defenses first. This is still a main site. Going here early, though, just means that they want to net in this first defense win, although it's not necessarily the easiest to defend anymore. Although it is still very easily defended. Jam pushing through already into the garage storage does look like he's going to have quite swift control, but they want to flush out these roamers first, and Serum gets taken out early. So like I said, Serum either goes 100 or he gets taken out early quick. So Deptra
certainly,
yes.
It seems like JC though will be the one to pull up and be able to get rid of the two roamers just like that. So a trade for Thatcher for a Jaeger and a Valkyrie, two roamers, not too bad, but could have been a much better one. And Vladdy Daddy could be the main issue here if they won't be able to deal with him in any shape or form, really.
Yeah, but will he be able to react in time? He misses the buck, unfortunately. He hears him, but he doesn't realize where he's gone. He might just be able to pick him up on a couple of these cardiac sensor scans now. Does realize that where the buck is, and most likely will not be able to deny those X-Kairos coming through. No impacts available to him, and doesn't want to waste his D4 just too quickly. Cops a little bit of damage, has to rotate back, and now he's going to get cornered on all sides. It doesn't look good for him so far, and JCC just waiting for the right time to shoot maybe any C4s coming out here. but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case. Striking will pick up a nice kill into Vladdy Daddy, and even though they've lost their IGL from the early start here, it doesn't really matter because he's still calling the shots, and it does look like Paradox. Oh, okay, Paradox pick up a nice kill into Sushi, and a nice headshot with the SMG-11 will deny the planter the entry, and Odoving already pushing through Memorial and Motor, and there we go, Jam cleaning up over by the blue staircase. Great. We get cleaned up over. Does like Odoving cleans that one up. Takes a lot of damage coming through, but no, he picks up the kill into Striking, and maybe one more coming down from the main stairs will be what he has to deal with, and no, JCZ cleans that up, and you know what, JCZ was the MVP the last game, and it does look like he's turning out to be the MVP of this game as well, so far, at least from the first round.
Well, JC has been a very nutty player overall. Before he was able on previous rosters, he was one of the either entry fraggers or the just flex players that was able to quite successfully get a bunch of really nice kills. So in here, he's also being able to flex his fragging power. So definitely a good start, albeit that it did get a little bit too close to the comfort zone. But the first round to go into the hands of CryptiK definitely does set the tone in their favor here.
There we go. So a similar setup coming up from the boys downstairs. Vladdy Daddy actually going to rotate over into the Bandit. Could be an interesting choice here. Not too sure what he would deny. Probably just a bar wall. That breach was pretty detrimental to him, and it actually did disrupt their defense over by the church as well. So could be a big pick here, most likely. Maybe even putting some Bandit charges over by the dirt tunnel to deny entry. It won't last very long. That drone hole will just deny both of them, but it definitely will waste a little bit of time.
Yeah. Well, this time looking at the lineup, they did decide to bring a Bandit this time rather than a Pulse, which I'm a little bit concerned, well, curious, rather probably, is where they're planning to use the Bandit here. If not for Bandit batteries, it will be definitely for the C4 and potential roaming capabilities. But utility-wise, I don't think he is a suitable one, bar the fact that you could probably just have him defending the church wall. But using him for that sole purpose, I mean, at this current meta, at this point, really, both Bandit batteries could be outed pretty quickly.
Could be real quickly indeed, and it does look like, I mean, they've got a lot of heart breach on their side as well, so they should be able to make quite a lot of use out of that and actually open up probably all the hatches, probably also the bar wall. Jam already by the same spot he was before, but Deptra having a little bit more luck taking out Serum yet again. First one to die, unfortunately. Thatcher is going to be, would have been bigger this time around as well because of the Bandit shock wires over by bar wall, most likely. I'm assuming that's where they're going. But here already we see Striking holding a vertical angle over into Arsenal. So he's got that corner all cornered out. It does look like he has some safe flooring already over in the freezer. So they won't be able to actually C4 him. He's in a safe spot. But now that they have the vertical angles of the kitchen and the first floor all nailed down, it's really going to come down to finding the angles they need. And oh no, Striking coming in with a very nice C4. Paradox cleaned that one up, and it does look like Paradox are in the lead this time over, despite the last round going the way it did. Oh.
Yeah, so this time they didn't sacrifice any of the roamers. They had a pretty safe play, turtling up the, yeah, there we go. There's the thermite charge will be completely disrupted. And this is putting CryptiK at a very disadvantageous position because now they're going to be forced to either play from the hatch, and if they are going to play from the hatch, this needs to be a very decisive choice because as it stands, really, they're running out of time. Though a nice pick from Sushi would be able to guarantee some sort of advancement, but really with 48 seconds left to go, at their current positioning, things are not looking all well.
Yeah, he's going to flash, and I don't think he's going to use that time and actually capitalize on those flashbangs, so that's a little bit of utility wasted. I don't think they did anything in that time, but he will rotate here. He will drop two members dropping together, actually. If they timed that a little bit earlier, they would have probably paid off, but there we go, Stickle mode with a double. And downstairs already, 25 seconds left. The plant is successful, and now they're trying to wonder where did they plant it, how did it get in, And will this man from the dirt tunnel actually rotate through? JCZ actually upstairs, rotating down back to the main stairs. Try to cut off anyone actually peeking through. Might be exactly what they need, but I don't know if that's going to be in time. I'm pretty sure where he is. There we go. Sushi gets taken out there. Oda being cleans out that kill himself. And I don't know if he's going to be able to deny this all by himself upstairs. So if they put down the smoke, they notice that one is rotating down. He denies the plant, but no, there we go. Deptra and the... Oh my gosh. Oda being actually cleans that up, and the Claymore finishes it off, and Paradox win round 2 quite cleanly. So CryptiK almost had that. I mean, they almost had that. I wouldn't really
say that it was a clean. It was by far from clean. If that, just because they allowed the plan to go down initially, and if not for the fact that Deptra was still alive, this would have been a round in favor of the offense. So
I don't think it was that messy though. I think from their side, they did a pretty good job. Obviously, they can't predict too much of what Paradox, what CryptiK were gonna do. CryptiK did a very good job using what they had left, and they seem to do and excel well in their number disadvantages. So, but Paradox, I mean, it wasn't like, maybe it wasn't clean because he died to the Claymore, but in that clutch situation, I mean, yeah, that was the one messy part. But they did a pretty good job.
The messy part was the fact that they let the Thermite in to go for the plant. That is the main issue that I see here, because they had the position, yes, they had the man advantage, yes, they managed to deny plentiful amount of breaches, but the fact that they let the plant slip down and get on, and only just because they managed to actually hold the to get the rotations very quickly is the sole reason why that IQ died and that they were able to get the diffuser. So that's my standpoint of view. At least to me, this was by far not the cleanest performance at all.
Oh,
nonetheless, though, let's move though from critiquing or not critiquing the teams. What's done is done. They are on a draw, correct?
Yeah, it's still pretty early. Yeah, they are 1-1 right now, and CryptiK so far managing it quite well. JCZ enjoying himself in the strip club just all alone, and you know what? He can't be left there for too much longer. They're going to be droning him in, and he will have a clean entry all the way through, making sure that they dot their T's and check their dot their I's and cross their T's. My bad, sorry. Just making sure they've got complete control over their first floor first. They don't want to be flanked at the wrong time, and although none too much are actually pushing in from most of the main sites, it does look like JC does spot one over by the garage storage already. Maybe rotating through over to the other storage site now. Deptra rotating up. Will be rotating back to the site and getting a nice little heal from his teammate Laddie Daddy over by the catwalk in garage. Switching over into a garage hold is going to be coming in quite clutch for the rest of them, and Laddie Daddy or Paradox as well with his ACOG holding from the garage is going to be able to maybe provide a little bit more defense. Striking, trying to pick up one more in the cash room. I don't think they realize where he's shooting from, and if they do, they're not able to do too much about it. They need one more man downstairs to just clean this up, and there we go. One more heal coming out from the dock on Paradox should be able to keep their team topped up and in tip-top shape as they push on through. So Jam already opening up that wall. Not much denial there coming through, and it does look like a couple more angles coming through for Serum actually pushing into the master bedroom. So I'm not sure if Sushi is going to be... Oh no, he's going to vault into the construction already, and Steffi getting downed. Unsure of exactly how he got down, most likely from that grenade from striking downstairs. He does get picked up by the dock, and there we go. Deptra picking up a nice control, striking, and Sushi from motiving does look like Paradox. Quite strong right now. One more going down. Looks like CryptiK are trying to even the scoreboard and even the numbers game. Steffi T got to push up, try to fight 1-2 right now in a very disadvantageous position.
The issue that I'm seeing here is that CryptiK didn't really facilitate on them downing Echo, because that could have been big. They were able to get the better of him, but thankfully JC does manage to finally pick up the frag on what was a downed bandit. So with 24 seconds though, things might get really hairy. They need to get rid of this Echo on the ASAP, because otherwise that will be pretty much it.
Oh no. Here we go. Vault on through
10
will be.
seconds
Oh,
remaining.
what? No! What? JC, what? Huh?
Huh?
Vladdy, how did you potato that, man? How? Oh my gosh. I think JC is just turning up to be the biggest player in this game so far, because I don't know how he's getting away with some of these kills, man. Oh, bruh. That was a bit shocking. I didn't expect that. Honestly, I thought JC was dead. I think you did too, right?
Yeah.
Definitely thought he was dead. But very well played by CryptiK to take their numbers disadvantage yet again consistently and turn it into a win. So Sticker mode going to be switching over into the alibi, maybe try to slow the enemy down
Attackers need to locate
by
and defuse bombs.
capitalizing on their pre-fires.
Deploying my trump
And
card.
that's why I love about Rainbow Six. They're taking about a lot of these mechanics and they're actually turning it into gadgetry and they're turning it into an in-game mechanic. So we're seeing a lot of this utility come through and all these changes being made to the game. And now that we see Ember Rise actually come through, I think tomorrow,
Setting the base.
this morning, rise upon us. Interested to see how the next week of the Let's Play Live Challenge really actually evolves and changes, because a lot of the statistic changes will come through and the gadgetry as well will be changing around. Some players, some operators will be having some gadget changes. I think Maestro is losing his deployable shield and will instead now be having impact grenades. So that's a very interesting change coming through, and Dokubi going to be having grenades, frag grenades. It's going to be very different to see as well.
Yeah, I'm certainly keen to see how will Ember Rise shape up within the competitive scene, considering that Nook and Warden will be also released into the wild, and keen to see how well will this play out, whether we'll be seeing them even at all. But to kick things off here, on Clubhouse, CryptiK versus Paradox. Soon we'll be going for the Hulk impersonation, smashing a couple of barricades, and he's just literally a millimeters away from finding the pixel onto the head of one of the defenders. That is actually played by Odoving. Finally, we do also see a castle from Paradox to come out with a UMP rather than a M1014, which most certainly would grant them the possibility of having longer range engagements than a hand's reach.
Yeah, well, Odoving is already in a pretty interesting position, and Striking and the rest of CryptiK have a great advantage here. Not much denial coming through here. Won't be successful, unfortunately, on the wrong wall. Not actually taking the foresight to actually open up the soft tissue upstairs. Debtra picking up a very clean, very swift double kill here as both members of CryptiK line up for him and his 417 carbine. There we go. Bandit actually having to pull down some of these barricades in order to try and contest this from maybe a bit more of an angle, or maybe give himself more rotation so he doesn't get pinned down in one spot too late. CryptiK has to rotate as well.
I'm confused as to the fact that CryptiK only now making a rotation. They didn't take any control of the windows outside of this site. And it seems that they actually might be going for a very intricate push as well. They opened up already a couple of angles from the construction, left Hibana in there, so now the Thermite is the one that will attempt to make some cause some ruckus here. As the Bloody Daddy would potentially be able to deny a couple of plans, but no, there it is. There's the pre-fire from Striking that would be ensuring that the breach will be successful.
And there we go. I mean, he didn't leave that one shock wired, and it will be opened up quite swiftly. Like you said, I was surprised they didn't capitalize on their push and they didn't have more angles. I feel like they overinvested in that that cash overtake, and breach paid off. Unfortunately, it just really came down to Paradox really capitalizing and picking up some nice frags. Lucky them. But now that it's a 1-2 situation, Steffi taking up maybe one more kill here onto the Buck. There we go, a nice double kill for him, rotating in. Jams on his tail, hot on the trail itself, and we'll find him backside turned. CryptiK win round 4. Yet again, taking that disadvantage and just really pulling out these unforeseeable wins.
It certainly seems like CryptiK are definitely having a good idea about how to approach some of those plays and already managing to push themselves into a 2-point advantage. It's certainly something not to shy away from, really, especially on their offense. I'm quite even interested to see how will they be able to perform on the defense, considering the fact that, like you stated, CryptiK are managing to find those kills and wins at literally a second's notice, right at the last moments, and it is concerning. But considering the fact that Paradox weren't able to readjust quickly enough, certainly seems to be working out
Attackers
pretty
need
well
to
for the Pro
locate
League
and
teams.
defuse bombs.
For the Pro League team.
Certainly coming down to experience, and Serum as an IGL is really shining right now because these calls coming up from him, and of course their coaching from War Turtle, is definitely turning out to be exactly what they need moving into these matches, and to bring in all these advantages that we didn't expect any other time. So certainly looking to see how they develop as a team and how they will be entering back into the Pro League with the last few days coming up in the next few weeks. Deptra going to be most likely holding the utility room, also known as the blue tunnels,
5 seconds left.
quite soon, and Sticko maybe going for a long rotate upstairs over by
Attackers must
CC
locate
Cash.
and defuse a bomb.
Maybe even stock room.
So Sticko could potentially be the main play here, as well as Vladdy Daddy, because if they manage to pull off a very nice top floor roam, they could either go for a late flank, which would pretty much seal the deal on any remaining Team CryptiK members, or one, delay as much time as possible for the roam clearers at the start of the round, because seeing as Serum is the only one who's going for that is a little bit dangerous, to say at the very least. That's one, and two, you shouldn't really have a Thatcher going in for the roam clear, really, because his EMP grenades are so useful for the main squad push.
Serum with the EMP will deny a little bit more intel and a little bit of utility here. Jam taking a couple of quick firefights here over into the room across from construction, trying to clear it for Serum and maybe bring in a nice little crossfire, but I don't think they're gonna. Oh no, he will not. He won't peek that. Come on, Deptra. I know you brave, but certainly Jam will clean that up as they take quick control over master bedroom. Sticko mode doesn't exactly know where the enemy is right now, but 3 to 5, CryptiK are making clean and quick work over that second floor. So will he be able to actually clear it out by himself and delay a little bit more time, or will they actually find this and make mincemeat out of the man himself? And oh, there we go. JCZ cleaned that up, and just as I say it, maybe I jinxed it. Maybe it was the caster's curse. I don't know. But Steffi T is trying to hold this long angle here. Actually manages to pick up the kill and drop the diffuser. Jam coming in quite quick to clean that up and refrag for his teammate, and with the X-Kairos coming out as well, should be able to open up a couple of hatches without any contest. So Odoving has a big job ahead of him and a very steep uphill climb. One more over in the main stairs. JCZ coming in one more time. Is he a support player or is he a entry fragger? I don't know anymore, man.
He's a flex. He's a flex, a man of many professions and many specializations as well. And he's actually just flexes that. He can play his IQ, he can frag the absolutely heck out, and still be able to give out plentiful of supporting information to the squad. So overall, I mean, so far it's going extremely well for Team CryptiK, and for them to essentially seal the deal, they'll need to win this last attacking round in the first half to pretty much get them to 2 points away from claiming the map. And if that will be the case, boy oh boy, this will be a very short map.
Certainly shaping up to be, because they only have this last round in order to bring it to a 4-2 scoreline, and Paradox aren't looking too confident right now. They are getting dismantled right now. They're going for very interesting defenses, and they're not bad defenses. I think they're just not being executed very well, and it's definitely coming down to CryptiK just being more experienced and a little bit more confident and a bit more coordinated with how they dismantle and pick apart the structure that Paradox is putting up in order for them to work around. At sometimes being a little bit flimsy even, I would even have to say.
Yeah, well, we'll find it out pretty soon though. As Paradox, on the last defense round, Attempting to go for somewhat of a
Attackers are
similar
moving out to
defense that
locate
they
a
had
bomb and
before.
defuse
Bringing in a dual ACOG in the face of Echo and Dog. And potentially
No.
leaving the Dog.
Area
Oh,
of
Dog going in for the run out,
Defender
but
has been discovered.
nobody will be there to spawn in. And his position has been revealed, so the garage has been fully forfeited. He does actually able to still claim a kill, so that is Serum off the board. Once again, poor Thatcher player of CryptiK just cannot take a break.
Serum not having a good time. I mean, he's really shining as an IGL, but as an entry for like as a support, he's not being given a chance at all. He's gonna be at the bottom of that scoreboard, and it's really gonna be a thorn in his side, I guess. But this just means that he gets the focus on making the calls and making decisions and really analyzing the game at hand. So, not a huge loss for CryptiK. Your IGL dying first isn't uncommon, but it is uncommon that your support really frags out as hard as JCZ is, because he's already on site, pushing through, dismantling your entire setup, and you're not even stopping him right now. Odoving, you just let him walk in, and Steffi didn't even stop him. They need to be able to stop this plant right now, and it doesn't look like it's gonna be a real possibility. Stop? What? Excuse me? Oh no, the grenade coming out will pick up the kill after his own death, and Deptra is trying to hold the staircase now for the longest angle over from Eastern Stairs, and it is 2-2. Odoving has one more Toxic Bait at his disposal and a couple of impact grenades. I don't know if he wants to take these risky angles, because if they have an ACOG, which they probably do, Odoving's gonna lose that duel real quick with that much mana health available to him. JCZ rotates off just at the wrong moment, and Jam gets taken off right there. And there we go. JCZ, the fragger so far, has been pushing up quite well, and he has been turning up quite clutch for his team right now. Pre-fires a little bit, might be able to pick up this one kill in Eastern Stairs, but no, Detra brings it to a round 6, cleaning up onto JCZ, denying him the clutch.
Yeah, Paradox finally did manage to showcase that they still can fight back. 4-2 scoreline is certainly not what you would want right now, especially on your defensive half. And with now CryptiK going on the defense, I'm left really with the question is, can Paradox perform a similar way how CryptiK did and dictate their pace on offense, or whether we'll be seeing a quick sweep from CryptiK? Because yes, CryptiK didn't really end up, well, going for a timed play and just decided to play it out, kind of, yeah, let's get this over with, essentially, type of play, and it didn't work out really, comparative to what we saw at the start of this half. So I'm curious from Team CryptiK to see whether they will be playing safely, or whether they will continue their aggression from back at Consulate. And on the side of Paradox, it's rather a question of, can they be unpredictable on offense, and can they shape it up to be in their favor?
Well, I just want my man Serum to live for more than like a minute. That's all I want. It's not a lot to ask, guys. You know, I just want my Kiwi brother to survive a little bit more. But we'll see. Maybe it's a sacrifice he needs to make every now and then. Paradox, like you said, are being very aggressive, and I don't know how exactly CryptiK completely let that last round slip. They had it. JCZ was all up in their grill. He was inside the site, running around their rotations, denying them picking up kills like they didn't expect it to. And Odoving just came in big, you know? Like, he denied them an entry, and he denied them that plant so well.
Yeah.
The double potato on that Eastern Stairs was hilarious.
Certainly is. And now looking at the beginning of the first round of the second half, Paradox are now prompting to go for the play. Serum does manage to evade those concussion grenades, so he will be able to deny the breach pretty easily. And not a single effort was actually made from Paradox to even attempt the breach, really. They have Hibana, they have Thermite, and for that very reason, for some reason, they did not try to even go for that. Serum was all prepped and ready, so the Thermite might go for it, whereas Jam is the one to take out the Buck, and that is potentially a start for the Paradox's demise.
Oh no, there we go. One extra thermic charge will be denied. JCZ yet again picking another frag for his team, and Vladdy Daddy opening up the wall already. So, Habana and a thermite. 2 hard breaches available to them. Good guns still available. But will they be able to actually turn this into a win? We've seen them struggle on man advantages before, and there we go. Odoving being taken out already. Jam picking up a double kill, and that was... How do you lose that?
Yeah, that is very unfortunate for Odoving, and all up to Vladdy Daddy. Needs the ace clutch. Oof.
Okay.
Shot.
I mean, we might see it happen right now.
Could very much be the case. This is the perfect setup. He still has a minute to go.
We'll see the bullet trails come through and should be able to pre-fire a nice angle. Don't know if he re-rises, if that one member is watching from above, and oh, he predicts it. He picks up the kill, sees the yokai drone. He knows he's down. He's just waiting for the red moment to clean up quite safely. There we go, Vladdy Daddy with a double kill. Maybe pick up an ace in the next 40 seconds, I don't know. But all CryptiK have to do is hit back, wait for those yokai drones to come in quite well, deny and waste a lot of his time. So 30 seconds left. They've already denied another 15 seconds just with that one yokai. He needs to make a play right now. Oh no. Nice try, dude, honestly.
Jam just completely shuts it down. From the very same angle, that is a very potent one. It has been working absolute wonders for teams all around the world, really. So CryptiK bringing this type of stuff is actually very well played. And you could see on the defense, they've been able to just deny literally any type of advancement. And the fact that Vladdy Daddy at the end managed to get away with some kills, they were very well acquired, but at the same time, it was a fault to CryptiK as well that they were getting extra aggressive. Overall, though, Church and Arsenal Room, though, to come out. How do you think will this side evolve in the hands of
Attackers need to
CryptiK?
locate and defuse bombs.
CryptiK don't play very wild strats. They just play very different team play. That does seem to be the trend with them so far. So nothing too crazy, I suppose, coming from CryptiK. We see the same impact holes being made here so that they can actually deny that. We see the smoke actually with impact grenades instead of barbed wire, so he can actually bring in that impact striking. Striking, actually playing that vigil is going to be very different as well. So they're going to go for a very deep roam, just like Paradox did. Maybe try a 3-level delay for the enemy team, for Paradox.
5 seconds to insertion.
Like I said, nothing too wild, but definitely going to be trying
Attackers are
to
moving
bring
out
in
to locate a bomb and defuse
some
it.
different sort of synergy. But just looking at that last round, all they had to do was maybe try to actually pick up that last kill. Didn't work out for them. They're going to hold back a little bit and just play a little bit safer. We do see Serum takes all these risks. He doesn't have to, man. I mean, it's like he wants to die first. And, I mean, that might actually be what he wants to do. That's the thing. Deptra's already in Dirt Tunnel. He's already quite close to site. They don't actually realize he's actually on site already because they're busy shotgunning and they can't hear him push in, nor the drone actually entering. And that's an easy free kill for JCZ. Oh no, it's for Deptra. JCZ is around the corner though.
Deptra to be able to get away with a kill on the Vigil, that is a good start right now for Paradox to be able to kick things off. But right now, with CryptiK now realizing what's the play, might potentially be able to shut it down. There's JC to pick up a kill into Deptra, so that is a quick trade. IQ for a Vigil, not too bad, but they still need to be very wary about the long angles that can be held from the dirt.
Yeah, Odoving has to play it safe. He's got to wait for his team to actually give him the okay before he can push in. Steffi doesn't have the ACOG on him, and will actually have to pull back because the Hollow will not give him the advantage in that position right now. JCZ will be the one to actually peek the angle, and while Jam and him hold down that blue tunnel, a couple of ADSs will not actually deny those grenades. Actually get taken out there in that angle there, but in a little bit of a stalemate with 1 minute 20, Serum is still over by the kitchen. Like they're only just pushing in now.
That's not what you will want right now, as the flashbang won't be blinding the Doc at all, and the pre-fire though from the behind by Steffi will be able to get rid of Serum, so that is a good start. That is minus out Doc, and now Paradox are in advantage. The denial of the breach, though, will be successful. Not a single, though. Not a single denial from that.
Yeah, not a single denial at all. It does look like Jam's going to hold that motor and the blue at the same time. A couple of flashbangs go through. C4 doesn't... Oh, C4 does connect with Steffi. Very nice. And there we go. Nice double kill for JCZ. Yet again, pulling in a couple more frags for his team. Definitely turning out to be one of the MVPs we got to keep an eye on here for the Challenger League for Let's Play Live. And with 30 seconds left on the clock, Sticko mode is a bit far. Not too far from sight, but a bit far from the rest of his team. Vladdy Daddy is trying to hold down this main hall. The bulletproof camera doesn't spot him yet. No one's actually on it. But with... They don't have much time at all. 15 seconds. Oh, there we go.
10 seconds.
There it is. There's the... So far, everything is falling apart for Paradox, really. 2v2. The Sticko mode just unable to get the angle, but oh, the time will be running out. Oh, Thermite will be able to actually stick it, but any push from Jaeger will be able to withdraw it, and there it is. CryptiK are at the match point.
I just want to note that JCZ had a quadra kill and almost had the ace. This guy gotta be stopped. Y'all gotta find a way to stop this guy and actually like control him, because he's just running all over your team right now, Paradox.
Yeah, for Paradox, it seems that losing Consulate was a big blow to potentially their morale. And it's certainly showing as well the inability to solidify any push, albeit that they did manage to get a very nice advantage early on through the round. Definitely is not what they want right now. Including the fact that when Derptra did make that initial frag onto Vigil, should have kept on pushing. They had the control of this side. They could have pushed in. They could have started going in for the early plant and try to force the defenders to go for a retake, force them to start opening up holes and exposing themselves. So maybe I'm not seeing something that was actually happening there during the game, but to me it seems that Paradox are being a little bit too cautious for the type of play that they were trying to pull off, really.
Serum should have rotated back way earlier. I don't know why the guy stayed there for as long as he did. He did his job, but I just think that, you know, you gotta pull back. You're not exactly the fastest operator. Yes, you can heal yourself, you can take more risks, but there is a time on that round timer. There is a certain point where you just gotta just be like, you know what, I need to pull back right now. There's no point in being here any longer. So striking now over by the bathrooms and the village in the little sandwich. We'll be trying to deny any entry from the strip club. Do you think it's gonna be worthwhile being in that position, because he could get a very good flank, and but he doesn't have that necessarily have a C4, so he could throw up from downstairs to deny any more entry. Jam here has his identity detected. You think he just actually pulled back in time, but I guess not.
Oh boy, that was a little bit too close, but I certainly do think that Vigil's position right now for striking is certainly quite advantageous. He still has plentiful of room to work around, and I don't think any of the attackers actually droned out strip clubs, so his position completely unknown to the attacking team, so he will be the one to actually make the difference, I feel. Just as I say that, it seems that JC is just absolutely going ham with already a double kill, and he's the one that is making currently the change. Buck and Zafia off the board, and that is both of your soft breaches gone, erased out of the existence, and it's certainly at the worst timing possible, with only one round away from winning the map too.
Yeah, so there we go. I mean, we're looking at this right now, and it does seem that Paradox, not exactly in the best position. They're kind of covering for each other right now, and a very interesting kill coming from Motoving over onto the Valkyrie player. So JC's getting taken off there, and now that they have their top fragger being taken out already, Motoving picks up another kill onto Sushi, and there goes not only your support and your heartstick anchor. Paradox getting dismantled while it happens as well. C4 goes out. It's just in the right position for any entry denial. If he pushes through that door, it's going to get popped real quick. He's got nowhere to go. It does look like it's going to end up being CryptiK's match unless Sticko pulls out a miracle and a half.
I'm sorry, but Sticko hiding behind the table there is the single funniest thing to me is just the way how you could have seen like the man is panicking, like, oh my god, what am I supposed
Where do I
to
go? Oh, he shoots the Prisma as well, and he will be pinged 3 times over. 20 seconds left, and it does look like, yes, folks, CryptiK win 2 maps over
Seconds to go.
back to back, and they actually net 3 points tonight. So, in a valiant effort on the last few seconds, it does look like Sticko will push through, pick up 1 more kill on 2. Probably kill at the striking, but Serum, the IGL, cleans it up. GG well played, 2 maps going to CryptiK so far, and the Pro League team really do show the differences between them and Paradox in this last few maps.
Well, certainly. Just absolutely 180 performance from CryptiK comparative to Consulate. They managed to take the map 7-2, and well played. Poor Sushi actually was the one that is getting bullied all the time.
Oh
1 to
my
9.
gosh, JCZ with 21 frags, boys. That's a double digit. That's a double digit club. It's a 20s club. A couple of more kills, and we would have said that, you know what? Are you the next Shaiko? I don't know. You the next Virtue? Could have been. The man definitely has a lot of potential here in the ANZ community and the ANZ scene for Rainbow Six. Keep an eye on him, boys, and definitely keep an eye on CryptiK. Don't look past Paradox, though. They are a growing team, definitely. Cthulhu, any final words looking into that last matchup and this the last 2 maps?
Well, really, I definitely still do think that Paradox could pull off some plays, but ultimately against higher ranked teams, against teams that are part of the Pro League, they will be falling behind quite substantially, and they will need to iron out their communication, because their fragging, yes, it can be very well ironed out pretty well just through sheer amount of practice. Communication, you just need to keep practicing your team chemistry, and some of the decision making, that's just, well, you need a coach to essentially explain that, why you should or should not do such things. So all in all, I definitely think that they have potential, but it is so far a very distant potential.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely shows a lot of promise from that team, and CryptiK actually looking much better this week than last week. So next week coming in, we will be on the Ember Rise patch. A lot of changes will be coming in. We'll be studying up as casters to make sure that you guys are informed in the right and most accurate manner possible. Definitely go have a play at it tomorrow. Definitely get some sleep tonight, guys. Don't stay up till like 4 a.m. just to try to play it. But thank you everybody for joining us here. My name is Lan. I've been joined by Cthulhu, and we've also been observed in a very clutch situation by the one and only Guz Cass. So definitely keep an eye on the man himself. He will be casting a little bit more in the future as well. Thank you to all the admins as well for organizing this, and definitely congratulations to CryptiK for their double map win, netting in 3 points for the Rainbow Six Challenger League 4 Let's Play Live here, live on both the LPL Play and the R6 ANZ channels. Thank you everybody. Cthulhu, any final words?
I'm honestly just excited to see how close to the end of the season things will unveil, and which team would be able to claim the champion within the Challenger League.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, boys and girls, we actually have a Let's Play Live Pro League coming around. We're just going to play Challenger League a couple of more times till we net in enough teams to make a Pro League. So it is an elimination process, and we will be weeding out the weak and finding the strong. The Pro League will be coming in, and the prize pool and the production will be escalated and increased. We're all very excited to see what's going to be lying ahead for the Let's Play Live Challenger League. And the Let's Play Live Rainbow Six scene. Keep an eye on it. We'll be bringing in more to ANZ very soon. But thank you everybody for joining us today here. Tuesday, yet again, another nice, fantastic week of Challenger League action for Rainbow Six. Keep an eye on it. We'll be seeing you guys next week. Fare thee well.
successful.